The agenda for the meeting is I'm going over the scanner that I've been building over the past months and to give a very high level overview of how can it simplify our life where we scan hundreds and hundreds of stocks. Also, if you have questions, please use the raise your hand feature. I'll stop and I'll try to answer accordingly. First things first, a quick disclaimer. Whatever we are going to discuss today is purely educational purpose. It's not a financial advice and you should do your own research. The agenda for today's meeting is I'm sharing what I have learned and what I've been doing over the past month and years. So please do your own research before using any of the tools that I recommend. I think most of you have been reading my blogs or some of you have been with me around in the markets. So myself, I'm a software engineer who's learning investing since a long time. And as we know, for retail investors, it's always difficult to learn something the right way. So I have made a lot of mistakes. That my simple goal is to simplify what I have learned and share it with a wider audience so that it makes sense for them. And they also don't repeat the same mistakes that I have done in my investing journey. I've been in the markets for more than around 7 years. And since then, I have taken multiple courses, both on the fundamental side, technical side, and also from the psychology perspective, how to think about markets in general. With that, as I mentioned, my simple goal is to share awareness of what I have learned. And even if it improves the journey of a single person, that's a win for me. So that has been my goal since day one. And since I like doing it, I'll be continue doing that going forward. So far, if you are following my blogs, I have more than 80 blogs. Sorry, it's right now it hit 90. And I recently completed my comprehensive TA course where I go over what I've learned in a very curriculum way. Moving on. So going over the problem that I think most of us have been facing since a long time. And I've been talking to a lot of people around, even if in my company, we have an investing group. So I keep talking to them, how are they solving that thing? So just one sec, I think someone. So right now, the biggest challenge that I've seen, and myself, I've tried many different options, is trying to improve the coverage in the market. So being in a tech company, we always are going around big names like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and different companies in that domain. But we are not aware about what is happening in different sectors until and unless that has broken out. So recently, we had a semiconductor rally, then we had memory stocks selling crazily, and now we have space stocks. So after something happens, that's when we come to know something happened and we missed that one. So one of the problems that I faced is after having the knowledge of what works and what does not, how to make sure I'm not missing out on opportunities. So that is the first problem that I've seen. And I've tried different things, as you can see in the image. Here I have tried different setups using TradingView. I created different lists to manage it. I had an alert notification list. I enabled alerts. I wrote my scripts. I even visited Thinkorswim. I set up alerts there. But eventually what happened is I started to get alerts from different sources. But again, it got lost in the sea of information. So that was a bigger problem. And also, I'm not a full-time trader. I have a full-time job. So my goal here is to simplify the system so that the setups come to us and they are not noise. They are more reliable so that we can take action on it. And I'm pretty sure a lot of us have faced the same problem. And this is my attempt to solve it once and for all. Because with AI, a lot of things have become easier from ideation to the product phase. The friction has gone away. So the motivation, as I said, and I wrote in one of my blogs as well, this is the setup for Intel. And after it exploded and it reached around 90 to $100, that's when I went back to the charts to see what happened. Was there some pattern that I would have known? Because every pattern itself is a psychology. So I went back to the charts and to my surprise, it was the cup and handle pattern. And this pattern has been forming in more than 100 examples before the breakout. So I knew everything about the setup, but my system was broken. There was no way I could have known that Intel is breaking out. And right at this point, since it broke out, in matter of month, it just more than doubled. So I did not have a chance to enter or even to take that trade. And that was the point where I decided that I want to build something where I don't miss on opportunities like this going forward. Again, this could have gone in another way as well. At this point, when it broke out, it could have gone in the other direction. But that's where risk management and everything comes into play. But at least to decide if I wanted to take this trade or not, I should have known that this setup has formed. So the goal of the DDI scanner that I have built is to bring the setups to you. And once it comes, it's completely on your discretion whether you want to take the trade or invest in that company or not. So looking at the DDI scanner, the 30,000 feet view, it's very simple, nothing complex. I fetch the data from the market every day after the market close. I have defined and wrote multiple algos that have extensive rules, which I have fine tuned, and I have around 150 versions of it. So when I started, it was pretty naive. And over then, I've been improving, implementing one thing at a time. And that algo runs over all the stocks in the market. And then it creates alerts. And then it comes to me in a very systematic way, giving me the information I need, which I can quickly scan through and decide, do I really want to invest or trade in that one? So this is the very high level overview. I'll give a quick overview on how extensive and how important is it to define the rules. So the next one is the homework that I did. So the process that one should follow if you want to develop your own signal or if you want to develop your own algorithm, the process is pretty extensive. So right now, if you take a look at this screenshot on the right, this is the Google Doc that I manually created. I went through over 100 setups in the past. I'll try to zoom in. Let me present this tab. So this is the exact homework that I did. So right now, when I talked about Intel, right, it is the second setup as we see at this point. But if you look at the first setup, this is Rocket Lab. It was the same pattern and it broke out at this point. And there are multiple stocks. Even if you look at gold, you go to Robinhood, you go to Microsoft, Amazon, Google, HIMS, every single stock that I have observed in my journey so far forms this pattern at some point in time. So now, since I know that this is happening over and over again, why can't I really build a system that will tell me that, hey, this is forming and it depends on you. Let's say this pattern formed on Microsoft, right? And every one of us know that Microsoft is a very good company fundamentally as well. And if there was a breakout at this point, why wouldn't you risk at this point? Even if it goes in the opposite side, it's a good company and you will keep holding. So the simple goal of building an algorithm is you should do your homework. I'll not go over details on what this number means, but what I try to do is I drew the cup handle pattern. I try to see what was the average time that it creates to form the cup, how much is the drawdown that I get from there. And eventually I came up with certain numbers, certain rules that I see and converted that into an algorithm. And creating an algorithm is not an overnight thing. I started with version 1 and I have refined. Right now it's at around 160. So it's at version 160 and I'm still looking at different examples trying to see, is there something I can improve here? Because at the end of the day, the signals that I get, I want it to be actionable rather than noise. Because if it is noise, then what good is the algorithm? Moving on, the scanner that I built, it focuses on 4 different components right now. The first scanner is the breakout scanner. You can think of it as if something is breaking out. Right now, we know the theme is it should tell you what stocks or in which sector there are breakouts happening. So I'm not going and looking at the fundamental news. I'm relying on charts to tell me that, hey, this sector inside this industry, the stocks are about to break or they are breaking out. So this will give you a lot of information ahead of time before it comes to you. Like today in news, you see that Rocket Lab, TS, and a lot of stocks have broken out, but the scanner will tell you way ahead of time when it is breaking out. So this is the first scanner. The second one is the reversal scanner. So this is completely opposite. Now, when the market is falling down, every one of us have heard that we should not catch a falling knife. So the goal of this scanner is when something is falling, it tries to detect based on the past examples, what is the high probability setup using some technical signals that this will reverse. Again, nothing is guaranteed, but if you rather put your money at a higher point, it will give you a good probability zone where it could bounce. And this is the goal of the second scanner. Also, it tries to find exhaustion signals like topping tails, EMAs, where something has been stretched and it has run significantly. And what is the point where there will be exhaustion, where a lot of sellers will be there. The third one is the smart indicator. It tries to run over the market and give me signals based on the conditions I have defined. And it uses a lot of TA concepts under it. And the fourth one is quick scan. So if you give me a stock and if I want to take a look, hey, what is going on with that one, I can quickly go and put that ticker in. It does the technical analysis for me. It gives me the quick signals. And later in the process, I'm going to include a lot of fundamental filters as well. So again, this was a lot of theory. Now we are going to move to demo and we are going to play around with the tool in real time. So let me quickly go to the rules, to the scanner. Before I do, there was one question: what time frame do I look? Since my investment timeline is mostly swing trades, I go no lower than daily time frame. So daily, weekly is something I look at, and even monthly I might embed, but monthly is something that I use very less often because given the volatility in the market these days, it's better to be updated what is going on daily rather than going beyond weekly. Any other questions before we move to the tool? So this is a tool that I have built. It's not open or access, but this is something that I'm using extensively, and I have taken a lot of trades using this tool. I'll try to explain it quickly, and then we'll go over different capabilities it has and what future plans I have. So first thing, as I mentioned, the first scanner is called Breakout Scanner. And the goal of this scanner is to give you setups that are about to break. And once you know that it is going to break, it keeps that particular stock in radar and it will try to keep track of it as and when it progresses. So right now, if you take a look for Breakout Scanner, we are looking at daily time frame right here. And we are looking at all stocks. So the first one is Visa, I think. And here, if you take a look at the white line, it is saying that Visa has been capped under this pattern. So right now, as I mentioned, my goal was to identify the setups. One sec, sorry. Okay, somehow the marker is not just one sec. There has been some lag on this, but it's okay. So for the first one, if you see, this is the cup that I had described in my algorithm, and this is the handle. And right now, it is sitting right at the neckline. So if my goal is to take any breakout setup, and I really like Visa, I'll keep an eye out on what is going on with this setup. This next one is Johnson & Johnson, and it is also being capped right at the resistance line. Today, it got rejected. I do not know, and I don't really care what is happening. But the rule that I have defined for setting up is it should be right at the neckline, and it should be within 3% near the neckline. So as long as the price is around the white line that we see, and as it is around 3% of that line, it comes to the scanner and it gets listed here as in the setting up tab. And there are hundreds of examples you can go. So we were looking at mega cap. What if you go to large cap? Here you will see different setups again. Personally, I don't know a lot of stocks, what the stocks are, but as you can see, the accuracy of this scanner is pretty good. So this is something that I can truly rely on. So for this one, BAM, which is Brookfield Asset Management, it's a good company as well. Right now, it has been capped under this line. As soon as it crosses this one, it's going to be a bigger move because this is the wedge breakout that we can see. And likewise, you get a lot of charts in the setting up section. And if you want to learn about what setups are being used here, I have linked all my blogs here. So you can go and read about head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, cup and handle to understand the real psychology behind what happens if it breaks out. So now, once it has been identified, it gets graduated to broken if these conditions are met. So now, in this setup, you can see all the stocks that have broken out and are right above the white line. So this tells me that these stocks are strong enough where it had the strength to go and break something. And this is something telling me that, hey, you need to be alerted and look at these stocks if there is an opportunity that you can find. Right now, once the charts come to this point, I still need to take a look like what is going on. So for this one, I think this is Global Payments. I don't know what the company is. So I go and read more about the company because this is breaking out. Is there something going on with that company or is this a false breakout? So right now, again, there are limited setups that we have. And the third one is confirmed. So I have my own set of rules that I use for confirmation. So if something is broken, how do I know if that is confirmed? Because once something breaks and confirms above, the white line, which was acting as resistance, will now become support. So at that point, if I even enter this trade, I'll have a stop right at the white line. So you can use these signals and this information to give you a lot of insight on where to place your stops. So this was a quick algorithm, and then we have invalidation, dismissed. So here's something like, let's say the setup comes to setting up, but it never breaks. It goes down. So eventually it goes to invalidated, and my scanner again starts looking for the setup for that stock, even if it happens in the future. So this was a quick intro on what a breakout scanner is and how I'm using it. The second major use case for breakout scanner is here I have added top industries as one of the views. So right now, if I go to all caps, today, if you look in the markets, right, a lot of stocks like Oracle, Palantir, Robinhood, everything is breaking out. But before it broke out, how could I know about that? So it tells me that the top sector that has a lot of broken stocks, which is 18, and it has 6 confirmed, is computer software. And if I quickly open it up, I can see a lot of stocks that have broken out. So it has MongoDB, it has CDN, and it will have a list of stocks that are broken but not confirmed. And there are things which are setting up. So if you look at Adobe, right, if I open quickly, you can see here Adobe is trying to cross this resistance, which it has been failing since over 2 months. But now if you think about it, the more you keep hammering on a resistance line, it will eventually break, and the resistance line will now become support. So scanning a lot of stocks in the same sector becomes very easy for me now. So I can quickly go and decide, do I want to take Adobe since it is a good company? I don't know about the future, but looking at the chart, I know my strict stop loss and I can decide. Same with Palantir. Right now, Palantir broke about the 200 EMA and it broke with volume as well. So you can get these kind of information on what is happening with that sector. If I close software sector, we know semiconductors was something that happened in the past. You can see a lot of breakouts that have happened, which the scanner has already caught. Like the previous setups like Micron, SanDisk, it would have been caught if my scanner was running before. But right now the rule is it tries to find the resistance zone. And if the price is 3% nearby, that's when it comes in the radar. And right now these stocks are in the radar. And this is what I've been looking at. And here you can look like what is happening with different sectors. So let's say tomorrow there is a new sector that is about to break out. Charts will tell me first what is happening in that sector. If a lot of charts are setting up to be broken out, that's my first cue. And then I can go and read more about the news, what is happening. Is this a good setup? And if at all it is a good company like Microsoft, I will for sure go and invest in it. So this was a quick overview on how I have built my breakout scanner and the use cases that it solves. I'll take a quick pause before we move to the next one.
Question. How from setup to confirmation, what's the graduation path that you, or what's your thought process when you're kind of analyzing whether or not you should prioritize which watch trade, right? How are you thinking about that? If you can double click, that would be good.
Yes. So that's a good point. So there are different methods that a lot of people use. My algorithm right now is using 2 things. One is when it breaks out, it should hold that thing. So it doesn't look for a single breakout candle. It looks for confirmation. So there should be multiple candles supporting it. So if something is trading at 100 and it's not able to cross that side, so if it closes at 102, I don't directly go and buy. I wait for another close above 102. So that is one rule. The second one would be to use volume confirmation. So if something is broken out with a good enough volume, it means that a lot of buyers are buying in at that point and the price level will eventually hold. So it's not a single black and white answer, and I'm still refining my algorithm. But for now, I have kept a lot of transparency. If you go and look at the rules here, you'll see what exactly is happening under the hood. Same for different, like for broken, what condition I have. Right now, for broken, I've used price as close 2% above the breakout level, and it is holding that. And the confirmation uses the broken candle to confirm it. So again, this is still in ideation phase, but right now I am at a comfortable stage where a lot of noise has gone away. And this is something I'm using actively to get a lot of chart setups. Does this answer your question? Perfect. And this is in refinement. I don't think this tool will be ready ever. Every year there will be new thing that I learn and I'll be adding it. So you can think of it as an algorithm which will be learning itself and improving over time. So right now this is 150th pass, but I'll have 500,000 iterations. I'll keep working on it because eventually I want noise to be gone and the real setups to come my way.
This itself is a major breakthrough.
So my simple goal was, if I'm traveling somewhere, how can I reduce the friction of not looking at the charts every single day? So this is the motivation and this is the tool I'm building for myself. If it benefits others, that's a win for me. But if it solves and reduces my time, I can focus more on a lot of things outside. Yes, Anil?
Thanks, Harsh. So is this tool for somebody to use? It is the pre-fed stocks, or they can define the input, the stocks you want to monitor? How does it work? Or they only work with what you have defined?
So right now it looks at the whole market. So
Okay.
there is no single watch list. You can see I have favorites here. So eventually I'm building something that if I have my watch list and if I want to keep track of it, I can feed in stocks inside. But this is not something I plan to launch. I'm using it for myself. But you can think of it this as a scanner. And I'll go over how the alerting system is built to be friendly to everyone. I'll take the questions later, but couple of questions from the chat is, are you planning on adding quant like Kex or Dex? I have not thought about it, to be honest. How did you create the scanners? So I've been using PineScript extensively on TradingView, but TradingView has its own limitations. Like every watch list can have at max 500 stocks. So even if I build a watch list of 500 and if something breaks out outside of it, it wouldn't come to my radar. So right now I'm fetching the data every day from APIs, which is available online. And then I have my own set of rules to build the scanner and get the insights to me. I'll come to the questions again. I'll move on to the next one, which is the reversal indicator. So everything doesn't break out at the same time. So what if the war with Iran again starts? So in that case, the charts that we see in the breakout section will start eventually moving to the reversal section. When everything falls, first we are afraid that we don't know the bottom. Like Microsoft right now it's at 450, but it went all the way to 355. So at that point, no one knew what the bottom is. So this section's goal is to find extremes. So if something has been sold out crazily, or if something has been extended to the top in an euphoric way, the goal of the scanner is to give me that stocks, and I can filter, I can look at good stocks and find opportunities to start buying it. So this is something I use for my long-term investments. So right now, if you look at Mastercard, so the first signal, I won't be explaining the signals. I have added a lot of links here. You can read about bottoming tails I have wrote. So one of the top signals that I use is bottoming tails. It tells that a lot of sellers try to sell it, but eventually there was a lot of buying going on. So it tries to mark. So here, if you see the small green thing, that is the bottoming tail that has been formed. Do we know for sure this is the bottom? Absolutely not. But if I have $10,000 to deploy, I'll start putting in $2,500 at this signal because the probability of this level being held is more. If it goes down, I'll wait for the next signal and start DCing in rather than buying in a random way. So here, if you look like stock TMO, here we had the same signal, the green one, and the stock that was really the bottom and it started to take off. So there are multiple examples. Let me see if I can find. So Enphase, this is something that I recently took a trade on. So it had a signal of bottoming tail, which was, I think, around $37. And since then, the stock has taken off. So if you're not looking for breakouts, but something has been beaten down a lot and you want more insights into when can I really start stepping in, this screener is specifically built for that. And again, it has a lot of stocks like ServiceNow. It also had a signal which is right where it is breaking out. I'll go over the stock later. But bottoming tail is one. Second is bullish divergence. So now if I enable two signals, it will use both in conjunction and give me a more stronger signal that there are two technical signals which are signaling a reversal, and it gives me a curated list of that. If I want to use one in isolation, that is completely fine too. Next, if I want to find which stocks have been extended and are signaling a pullback. So this is known as a topping tail. Again, the blogs have been linked to each scanner, what it means, why it should be used. So here, like, again, this in no way is telling for sure that Google will for sure reverse, but Google had a topping tail. It means that a lot of sellers are sitting around 400 area where it might sell off. Micron, as we know, it has been forming multiple, it has been extended crazily. And likewise, if you are holding certain stock, let's say you have like 10 stocks and you want to sell something, if a stock appears with a topping tail, the likelihood of that reversing is higher. And I would prefer selling that over my other stocks. So I use the scanner to find opportunities that have been extended crazily. And the next one is, what I do is if I enable bottoming tail and if I use near 200 EMA, so it gives me all the stocks that are near the, let me filter it out correctly. I think it didn't refresh. So right now, in technical analysis, we know that 200 EMA is one of the good dynamic support zones, or if the price is below, it is a good resistance zone. So it gives me a list of stocks that have come to the 200 EMA level. And if I change this to weekly, I get the weekly content as well. And right now, if you look like Walmart, even if it dropped crazily, it is right now sitting at the 200 EMA. So again, the feasibility for me to look for stocks which are around and find opportunities, I get more visibility into the stocks. Like Costco today, it dropped as well, but right now it is sitting right at the zone. So this gives me a good visibility rather than going back to the charts, plotting everything and looking for it. So the accessibility, the discoverability has increased a lot in my personal opinion. So this was the reversal scanner. The third one is the smart indicator. So now you can think of my smart indicator as something like whatever I've learned over the years, I have coded that and I was using that in TradingView. If you follow my blogs, I had even enabled access for this tool. So when something has been beaten down or something bullish has been forming underneath, it gives me signals that, hey, something good has been forming underneath and you should take a look. The first one, as we can see, the first signal that we have for Microsoft, I think the signal was around 411 and right now the price is 450. Again, this is the signal that I use to find good stocks to enter in my long-term portfolio. It is again running on all the stocks in the market. If I want to go and find anything, let's say for mid-cap, I can still go and take a look. In terms of the opportunities that I have added certain features like what stocks are closer to the entry. So for instance, I got the signal today and the price should be around today so that I don't miss on the upside. If you want to see proof of concept, so when we see alerts came in, so for Enphase, the alert was around 36. The stock right now is at 68 and so on and so forth. So you get the idea. The logic on how this is determined is not public. I'm developing it. I'm running different test cases for it. But with this scanner and this particular mode, for me, I don't have to define a watch list. I get all the stocks that are meeting the criteria directly, and it comes to me in my alerting system. I'll go over the alerting system soon. And the fourth one is quick scan. So if I hear of a stock which is not caught in my scanner at all, I can quickly go and take a look at it, what is going on. So if I look for Tesla, it fetches the data in real time, it plots the chart for me, and it tells me what is happening. What is the current price? What are some technical signals that I personally look out for? And in terms of the breakout level, where is it right now? So if you look at Tesla, it is again forming a cup handle pattern. Cup handle is being formed right at the top of the chart, which reduces the probability of breakouts. It's a little risky zone. So I use this feature to quickly take a look what is going on. So for Microsoft, I can go and take a look. I can see Microsoft is breaking out of its 200 EMA and the resistance zone that I had defined as well. And I can get a lot of stocks in my radar from here. You can look for anything in the US market. So this gives you a quick scan and it reduces the friction of going to the charting system and searching for it, drawing the lines and everything. So these were the 4 scanners that I have built. And this is, I think, just 20-25% of signals that I have included. I am adding more actively as and when I think about different features, which makes my life easier. So now moving on to the alerting system. So one major thing here we can see is you can come to the scanner, of course. You can look at what is happening most recent. So today, what were the new scanners what were the new charts that came to my radar? I can come to the scanner, I can take a look, I can play around with it every day. But the major thing that I've been building offline is how to make these signals appear nicely so that it doesn't confuse a lot of folks. So what I went to Discord and I have defined specific channels for every alert. So right now, if I go and take a look at the daily setting up, let's go to broken. So this is one classic setup that everyone I think of us know. So whenever the market scan happens, it runs in the background. It updates the scanner for sure, but it also sends a notification directly in the bucket where the breakout is happening. So for Snowflake, so if you look at the white line that was acting as resistance, and it is almost a cup handle pattern that we can see. And post earnings, right now it just kept up crazily. So if this was in your radar and you really believed in that stock, you might have bought a little right below the breakout zone, but since then it has broken out. So you can look at different things that are breaking out and it directly comes to you in the corresponding bucket. I have different buckets for daily, weekly. If a daily bottoming tail is being formed, which is a reversal indicator, it directly comes here. We have daily smart indicator, the one that I was talking about that I have built. It again runs on different stocks. I get the alerts. What to do with the alerts is discretionary and it is up to you. So you should really understand what the signals mean. So this is the alerting system I have built. The second one that I'm building is I'm creating a Excel sheet with different tabs so that it is updated every day, every week, and you can go and take actions directly inside a sheet. So these are different modes which I'm trying out and trying to see what makes our life easier and we don't need to scan throughout and every day. So coming back, I think we discussed the Discord alert system, which I have built right now. And the goal of this scanner is I can open it up to a lot of people and they can join this group and see what alerts are coming in, what is actionable for them and what is not. In terms of future work, whatever algorithms that I have defined or whatever rules that I have from the technical side, that is market agnostic. Right now it is running in the US market. I'm going to enable access for Indian markets as well. We have the data and we have all the information we need. It uses the same information, same pipeline, just on the Indian data. So there will have a lot of insights, opportunities, and I'll get a chance to understand the Indian market as well. Second big thing is AI and model refinement. Right now, a lot of things are rule-based and I don't have a feedback loop. So my plan is once I have enough results, enough data points, I'll start feeding that to AI and make my algorithm a little smarter every single time a chart succeeds or a chart fails. Enhanced usability. I really plan to add more and more indicators that I see are useful. So one thing very important here, right? We want to keep technical analysis as simple as possible. Even if you looked at my quick scan algorithm, you won't see zillions of lines on the chart. It is just keeping it simple for me as well, where I don't want analysis paralysis, because if you look at a chart, it should tell me, am I interested or am I not? But if there are hundreds of signals, I'll get confused. So that is another important thing. You only do what you understand. And that is what I'm doing, keeping it very simple. And more indicators, what I mean here is, if I find something that reduces the noise for me, I'm all in, I'm going to include it. But if someone tells me that, hey, this indicator is good and this is working, it's okay, it's working for them. But I'll keep this restricted to keep it very simple and keep it usable. The last one is volume breakouts, divergence, fundamental screening. So the fundamental screening component is very interesting, to be honest. Right now, it gives you signals on everything, which might not be a good company. So if you turn on that toggle, it will only give the companies that have passed the fundamental filters in the backend, which looks for different things. You look at the balance sheets, you look, is the company having good enough assets versus liability? And you have that filtering done for you in the backend. So again, you don't need to research more about the stock. You can completely rely on the signals. So this is the interesting part. The tool I have built, it is very personalized. And since I'm the person using it, I am working on it actively and I'm trying to make my life easy. I don't know how much this tool will be useful for people beyond me. I'm all in if there are use cases and people really want it and it simplifies their life. So one thing that I would like to tell, or I have told many times based on my blogs as well, I never give buy signals. In the tool, I have heavily emphasized and I have linked all my blogs which explains the signal, because if you understand what you're doing and the signal and everything works against you, you will not panic and you will not make a loss or you will not book losses when it's not the right time. So number one emphasis is always to learn everything so that whatever decisions you make, you understand, not because I told or not because my tool told. So you should be sound enough to understand what technical analysis is and what signals you are looking at. Some resources that I have built over last 8 to 10 months. I have a link which goes over. Let me quickly show that as well. So this is a good starting point for anyone who is pretty new to technical analysis. So this is my website, Data Driven Investing. Here, I have a dedicated roadmap. So I had around 90 blogs. So I have broken down blogs into different modules. So you can go and take a look at your own pace. The first one is explaining what is technical analysis. Then you can go and understand the basics. And the blogs are very detailed. It goes in detail about the psychology, what the support really mean. It doesn't say like, this is the line, you should use it. It explains everything in detail. So you can progress and take a look at the exact roadmap. The second thing that I have built over last 8 months is I talk to many friends, and a lot of them don't have the time to read blogs because they are scattered. They have a lot of information, but not in a structured way. This is where my TA course comes into play. I spent around $10,000, I think, so far learning from different instructors. And one thing that I have realized is spending money is one of the most pain points that everyone has, and that keeps them away from learning. So the goal with this course is I have put everything I have learned over the last 7 to 10 years, and I have kept the price of the course below 3 digits, below 99, way low. The goal of the course is not to make money, but to use the friction so a lot of people can learn. And at the same time, making it free, I think, reduces the value. So that's why I added a little tag to it. So if you are someone who wants to start learning, right now I have even opened one, so that will even make it a lot cheaper for you. So check it out if you really want to learn. Next thing, risk management. If you are a technical trader or a fundamental one or whatever you're doing, if you don't manage your risk, you are going to lose money eventually. Because scanners, strategies, everything is good enough. But one day, if you don't manage your risk and if you go all in, you are going to lose money and it is going to hamper all the progress you have made. So risk management is something most important. I have blogs written on that. I have explained in a lot more detail in the course as well. So I highly recommend reading and fixing that first before even starting to trade in the markets. Next one, regarding the scanner, I'm still not sure. I'm thinking about it. But right now, the cost that I'm paying to build a scanner is I have subscriptions to fetch the data every day. I have subscriptions to host the service because it fetches the charts and everything in real time. So the way I was thinking is to keep a subscription-based model, which will be very inexpensive. My goal is not to make money, to be honest. It's more of giving the tools for everyone to use. But as you can see in this tool, I'm going to work over it over the next couple of years at least to make it and give it to everyone so that they can start relying on it. If you are really interested and want to try it out, you can go at data-driven investing/scanner and join the waitlist. Once I think the tool is ready to use, I can open up access. But right now, I'm not sure. If you're interested, sign up. If I have enough interest, then I might even consider opening it up. Again, thank you so much. My journey has been really good. I started writing about it 10 months back. Since then, from blogs, I have moved to Instagram recently, where I'm trying to reach a wider audience. I even built my course. I'm trying to fan out, reach more and more people and help them improve their investing journey. So if you have any questions, reach out to support@data-driven investing. And yeah, thank you so much for your support. And I'll open up for questions now. Any questions?
Oh, super great, Harsh. Thanks for putting this together. Work behind it.
Thanks.
Really good.
I don't think anybody has built this capability. Harsh. I've been doing this for so many years. Nobody has come close to what you have kind of automated to the point, right? And honestly, this is very impressive. And the only thing it can do is just continue to become better, and especially with using AI to do all this thing, right? You can keep adding features pretty quickly.
Yep.
So you have all the backbone now. One suggestion I had.
Sorry, go ahead.
Only one suggestion I had in some of those areas, if I don't know if you can add things, what your target is, right? Let's say it's going up, but the target would be on the either side, right? That at least gives you, an appetite around at what time you should exit or entry kind of thing, right? That might be a interesting to add if you think that's valuable.
So good point. I've been thinking about that, right? If you look at the breakout scanner here, if the cup handle pattern forms, you can give a target point. But right now, the way the scanner is working, it's taking it's a superset of all the patterns underneath. And it will be a little tricky to determine the target, to be honest. That's why I'm heavily emphasized on understanding what the patterns are. But again, if I come across an easy way to have a high enough confidence to give the target, I'll include it. But right now, I have many different things that I want to add to at least make what I have workable and easily usable. But yeah, thanks for the feedback. Couple of questions on the chat as well. First one is, how are the alerts sent? So right now, it updates the scanner. The alerts are shared directly on Discord. So it's a real-time update. So after the market close, it will run through the algorithm. If something is changing in status, something is moving from setting up to broken, it will again send alerts there as well. And I'll add more tools to get the screening noise away, but I'm still experimenting. If you guys have suggestions, you can reach out via email as well. Can you tell us more about own performance using the alerts? So, good question. Own performance is very subjective. If you purely use technical analysis, and it depends what horizon you're using. If you are day trading, if you're swing trading, your performance might differ. So, as I mentioned explicitly, my goal here is not to give any buy or sell signals. My goal here is to explain the concepts. Occasionally, I write about the setups that I have taken, and you can go and take a look at those.
Sure.
When will the access to the system be open? You can sign up. I don't know. I'm still working on it. It's ready to use. If a lot of folks are interested to use it, I'll open it up, because if it simplifies your life to get setups to you, that's my goal. I'll move to the next one. Sorry, go ahead.
I would definitely say we are all very interested here. So we already entered the wait list. So I think it would be some of the things that you have here, right, which is confirmed and things like that. I think very helpful. And it's like you have put all your 90 blocks concept together here. And it's not just looking at the breakout, but it's also looking at the second level of that confirmation. That's really key.
The next question, when the market direction changes, how useful does it become? Mostly cup handle is good for bullish marker. This is a good question. If you can look at the scanner, there are again different modes. Right now, so let me explain you in a very simple way. When the software sector was going down, the memory sector, the semiconductors, they were breaking out. So I just feel that at any point, there will be a sector which will be in demand, and there will be money rotation which will be happening. So when you look at the breakout scanner, it will tell you which is really breaking out. So if things are not breaking out, it will not show up in the breakout scanner. And you can go and confirm what industries and where is the breakout happening. So again, breakout is directional. But now, if you know that semiconductors and different stocks are in the breakout sector, software stocks will be in the reversal sector at that point, in the reversal scanner at that point. So you can use different scanners to find the stocks you are really interested in, and then you can keep improvising at it. Does that answer your question, Neil?
Somewhat. I still need to look at the scanner and understand how to screen from that. I don't have access. So.
Sounds good. Next one, which platform did you use to build your algorithm? So the way I started the process is I went to TradingView to start with, used PineScript. I think we had a previous session where a lot of folks attended. I built my first indicator there. I refined the indicator. I have around 150 versions of it. And then I converted that particular PineScript into a Python-based algorithm, which fetches the data, which runs everything. It even generates a chart. So the chart size you see here is not coming from TradingView. It is coming directly from MATLAB, which I'm plotting based on the data I have. So I have no reliance on any platform as well. So if I'm sharing this tool with anyone, they don't need any subscriptions. So it's a full-blown system, which is doing different things in the backend. And right now, I have some signals here. I'm going to add more, which I have learned. And it's up to you which signals you want to use to define your own strategy. Right now, I can only survive if I just rely on the breakout scanner. There are a lot of folks who want to jump on the boat, which is already hot and already running. So even if you rely on breakout scanner, you are good. If you are a trader who wants to find bargain in the market, go to good stocks, go to cheap stocks, you can use the reversal scanner. So it depends on what type of trader you want to be and what suits your personality. Does it also cover markets like commodities, crypto? It can. Right now, it does not. I'm just fetching SPY and Russell for now. But I can put anything that has data and it has stats. It can directly go and scan and give me the insight. How frequently do you refresh the scanner? Because something may be breaking out, may reverse out as well. So as I mentioned, I can share this, I think. So this is the monitoring tab that I use. So here you can see when the daily scan is. So daily scan runs every day from Monday to Friday after the market close. Weekly scan runs every week after the market close. So this is when the algorithm gets run and all the status and everything gets updated in the scanner. So I hope that answers your question as well. Anything else? Any other questions? Cool. Yeah, sounds good. I think we are on time. Again, thank you so much for joining. It is really fun and I really enjoy using AI to streamline a lot of process that a lot of people like us are facing today. And if it really saves 1 hour of hard time every day, that's a win, and I can invest that time somewhere else. So I hope blogs and everything is useful. I'll again emphasize, if you are new to do the course, it will change your investing journey completely. Again, thank you so much.